everyone. I hope everybody's having a great week this week. So, this week, what's popping and dropping is a pumpkin pop up card. We got a 3D pumpkin here, and we just added some greenery around the top and the bottom down here. Haven't decided what I'm going to put on the front or the back yet, but by the end of this video, we'll have it figured out. So if you'd like, we can head over to Design Space together, and I'm going to show you the two files we have this week that's available for you. So why don't we go ahead and head on over there, and I'll show you everything that comes in these files. I'll meet you over there. Okay, guys, so now we're in Design Space. This is the Pumpkin 3D pop-up card. This is everything that you will find in the file to make this pop-up card. And let's toggle over to the other one. This is the Pumpkin 3D pop-up card with cat. This is everything that you will find in this file to make the pop-up card, which is just the basic pieces. If you would like to add anything to either one of your files, go ahead and do that. This Pumpkin 3D cat pop-up card is the card I'll be making in the video today. So if you want to add anything to your projects, go ahead and do that. Don't forget to go up and save and name both of your projects. And if you'd like, we can go ahead and get our pieces cut out, and I'll meet you at the craft table and I'll show you how to put this together. I'll see you there. All right, guys, now that we are back at the craft table, let's get our pretty paper out and our card base. And this week, on two pieces of our card base, we have two little slits in each of those. These two pieces we don't want to put on yet. They will go on the inside of our card. So let's just set these two pieces aside for a moment. On our card base, just to help us line our pretty paper up, we do have two additional score pieces on here. We have two squares on each side. So just make sure you're working that middle score line that's on our card base. So let's go ahead and put our pretty paper on the front of our card and work our score line. So let's get out our pieces for the front of our card, because I think it'll be work better to put our front of our card on before we put the inside on. So let's get all those pieces out. Okay, so I've used vinyl for the cat's ears and for their eyes. And for their eyes, I have found I had some glow in the dark paper. So I'm going to use that for their eyes and their nose. So the first little cat that I'm going to do is the one that's going to go by our first little pumpkin. And there we have his ears on. There's our cute little kitty. We have this one done. And then the pumpkin that I'm going to use for this cat to be on is this pumpkin. And then I'm going to just go ahead and put the little stem on the top of it here. And then I think I'm going to put that guy on the pumpkin about like that. There we have it. So I'm going to go ahead and put the rest of our faces on our kitties. So for this guy, we can take and glue him on top of this pumpkin like so. And then we have a stem that goes on top of it like that. And this little guy with the two little paws, he's going to sit inside of our pumpkin like that. So let's go ahead and put these pieces together. There we have it. Isn't that cute? So with this pumpkin here, we have this stem to put on it, and then we have some decorations for the middle of our pumpkin that will go on in the center. So why don't we go ahead and put these pieces on? And then our next little pumpkin here, we have the green piece that goes on top here. So let's go ahead and put that on. So now let's start putting our decorations on the front of our card. So this is kind of a layout of how I'm going to transfer it over to the front of my card. And it's really up to you. You don't have to do the same layout. You can mix these up. I think I'm going to do it like towards the bottom of my card down here. So we have our front done, so let's move on to the back of our card. So we have this area for our message, and we're going to do a little cat on the top of it. I'm going to make mine black and put it on top like so. And then I'm doing in vinyl my ears and my face, and I'm using the glow in the dark for the face on the back too. So I'm going to go ahead and put the ears and face on my cat. So we got our back done. Now we can move to the inside of our card. So let's get our pieces out for our pumpkin, and we can start putting that together. Okay guys, so here's all of our pieces to make our pop-up. We have 4 of these that are identical, and then we have these 2 that have the little tab at the bottom, and then we have these 2 guys which have 3 slits at the bottom and then 2 on the side. And then these last 2 right here are just about identical to each other, except we have 1 cut at the bottom and 1 cut at the top. These 2 pieces are the pieces we're going to start with. Okay, so that's what they look like. And we're just going to take the slit and go up the middle of the slit of this pumpkin. So we'll just slide it in like so. Then we should have a piece that looks like that. So you're going to have to kind of hold this in place because it won't stay in place quite yet. When we get to these, it'll lock it in place. So the next 2 pieces we're going to work on are these 2 guys that match each other. And as you can see, it will fall out. So I'm trying to kind of pinch mine like so I have it kind of locked in place here. So the next 2 pieces we're going to work on are these 2 identical pieces here. So we have our T with our pumpkin, and on each side we have a slit that's at the top of our pumpkin. So this slit and that slit. We're going to take one, and with the center slit here, we're going to slide it down in that slot like so. And then we're just going to do the same thing on the other side. So there's our center slit, and I'm just going to slide it in that first little slit closest to our center. So now we have something that looks like this. And this centerpiece, it will fall out if you don't hold on to it. So if you kind of take your fingers and weave them in between like so, it'll help it stay in place. I'm going to turn it sideways so you can see here. So now you notice that we have 1, 2, 3 slits, 1, 2, 3 slits in a row. That's where these guys come in into place. So you can take one, it doesn't matter which one you start with, and we're just going to take these 3 slits and work it between our base of our 3 slits here. Okay. All right, so we have that in. And be patient and don't get frustrated if your pieces fall out, because they will. Just take your time and slowly do it. Now I'm kind of putting my fingers in the center. So there's the holes here. I'm putting them in these slots to hold it all in place. And if you find something else that works better for you, then do that. So I want it back where I can see our little tab on the bottom here. When you put this tab on, you need to make sure when you put the next one on, which is going to be on the opposite side, that it is on the opposite end. So if you see my tab is here, so that means when I put this piece on, I need to have the tab on the opposite side. But we're going to do the exact same thing on these 1, 2, 3 slits. We're going to take it and put it right in there. Okay. So this is now our bottom. Take your fingers and let's feed them through the hole, because I need to turn this over. And we have our little claw hand going on. Now we can start with these pieces. Once we get one of these on, it'll help lock it into place. If you see, we have 1, 2, and the 3rd slit on our pumpkins here. That's what's going to go in. So if the middle slit is on the top, we need to make sure the middle slit is on the bottom. So you'll feed that middle slit on. You'll feed this middle piece on to the middle piece of our pumpkin here. And then the next part, this is what's going to hold it in place. If you see, we have a slit at the top and then a slit at the bottom. We're going to have to work that slit down and in to that slit over there. And then the same thing with this guy on this side. I have my piece and I kind of pinch on the top and pinch on the bottom. And then I'm going to move it until I can get that little piece fed through that slit there. And then just work it back up into place. Now this piece is locked in and we can work the rest of them. So let's go to the next one. So we're looking at our middle pumpkin piece here, and the slit is on the bottom. So that means this needs to be on the top. So we'll just slide that up, work it through that middle there, and then we can open it back up. And then this slit, we're just going to work over the other one. So you can see where I'm starting to get it in there. And then I'm just going to start working it back up like so. And then once you get it in, you can move it around if need be. So I'm going to show you again. So we have our slit at the bottom. I'm sorry, the slit at the top and then the slit at the bottom here. So I'm just going to take that piece, bend it down, get it through that slit. As you can see over there on this side, it's coming through. And then we're just going to work it into place. So let's go ahead and finish up our last 2. And then we have it done. Isn't that so cute? And then we can push it either way when we go to fold it. So now that we have our pumpkin done, we can get out our pretty paper. So let's find our slit. So my slit is here, and then I have a slit here. So when you put these together, the slit on the left should be lower than the slit on the right. So we have our pumpkin folded, and if you have it folded where our two tabs aren't meeting, let's go ahead and fold it back the other way. And then we're going to take one of our tabs, it doesn't matter which one, and we're going to work it through that slit in our card. So I kind of have my finger in between the two, and then I'm just going to work it through like so, and then go ahead and pull it through the cardstock. Then once we have it worked, we can take a little glue and put it on our tab here and then fold it to our card like that. So let's do that. Then we're going to take the other side of our pretty paper, find that slit, and then we're just going to work that little tab through that slit on this side. So I'm just kind of putting my paper up with each other, get a little piece through, and just pull it on through that cardstock. Then once you get it through, I just line my two pretty pieces of paper to each other and kind of pull it through a little, and then we'll put glue on the tab again and then fold it down on our pretty paper. So once you think this is dry enough, you can go ahead and open it up and see what it looks like, and it's working. So to help us out, I did put score lines on the inside of our card base so we can see where to line our pretty paper up at. I like to do the left side first, glue on the back of our pretty paper, and then line it up with that score line like so, and then put that down. So once you have this left side on, you are going to have to pull this some to line it up in our little score line box. Once you get your pretty paper lined up with your scored box, you can give it a test to make sure it's closing correctly. Mine's looking good. I'm sure yours is too. So let's just put some glue on the back of it and then line it up with that score line. All right, so we have our right side of our pretty paper put on, and our pumpkin should be opening and closing very nicely. Now we get to get our pieces out for what we're going to put inside of our pumpkin. So let's get out all of those pieces. So the first thing we're going to do is take our pumpkin piece, our orange one, our bigger one with the stem on it, and we're going to glue our stem on top like that. And then our next piece that will go on is our shorter orange pumpkin piece, and it will go right underneath the stem like so. So let's go ahead and glue these pieces together. Now we're going to work on the eyes. I'm going to use vinyl for my face pieces and my ear. The other pieces are cardstock. So we have two white circles here. They're the bottom piece, and then our green pieces go on like that, and then our little black pieces will go on top of the green. So there we have our eyes done. And I waited to put this on because I'm going to put my eyes just a little bit underneath my pumpkin piece here. So for our cat, this section down here is going to go into our pumpkin. So just keep that in mind. You won't see all of the black part down here when putting your face on. So I put my mouth on so I can get an idea of where to put my eyes next. Now we can put our little pumpkin piece on our top like so. And then the last thing we have left to do is our little earpiece. So let's put that one on. Now the fun part. So we know this is the front of our card. So keep that in mind when you're placing your cat in your pumpkin. We're going to put our cat right here in between those pieces. And we're just going to make sure he's not coming outside of our card when we close it. So what you'll do is put a little glue on this bottom area right here, and then you're going to just slip it through those slots, and you'll hide the bottom part behind that pumpkin there. So I've got glue on the bottom, and then I'm just going to work it between that pumpkin section right there. So there we have it. And then for his two little paws, we can put some glue on the back of it. I'm going to put it on not this first pumpkin, but the second pumpkin, like he's holding on to the pumpkin there. Put his little paws on. So for his back of his body, we're going to work it in between this section here and that is what it will look like when you get it in there. You can put it anywhere back behind your cat you like. You want to turn it and do it the other way, you could definitely do that too. That's what it would look like on that side. So we're going to do the same thing. Put glue down here on the bottom, slip it down in there, and glue that on. There we have it. Now, there are pieces in the file if you want to use those to put some greenery inside your pumpkin, and it can go anywhere. Just make sure it's not coming outside of your card. And that's one piece I have on. I think I'm going to put another one like that. These pieces I did use cardstock, and it's a 65 weight, and they seem to cut out without any issue. I have more of a problem getting it off my mat without it tearing. There's my glue. I'm just going to slip it in between that little section right there. There you go. So now I'm going to take my pumpkin, and I think I'm going to put it up here kind of sideways. And then I thought we could use some decorations down here at the bottom, so we have some ivy we can put on. So there we have it, guys. Our two cute 3D pumpkin cards. We have this one I finished up and just did the pumpkins in purple because I thought it would be different and fun. This one says, "You are the cutest pumpkin in the patch." And then we open it up and we have all of this greatness. And then on the back, I just did a pumpkin tag where we can write a message in the middle. This pumpkin is definitely bigger than this pumpkin over here. And this one, it says hello, and we have all of these cute cats down here. And let's see if we can get this to glow in the dark. And as you can see, they glow in the dark. I still have a little bit of light in here, but you get the idea. And then on the back, also glows in the dark. So two gorgeous cards we got going on here today. Do you guys know how you fix a pumpkin? Take it to a pumpkin patch. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by and crafting with me. Don't forget to stop by next week to see what's popping and dropping. Bye.